So we're moving on to problem number 4. Please follow along as I read the problem out loud. John is painting a mural. He uses 15 quarts of red paint and 2.5 gallons of blue paint. Did he use more red paint or more blue paint? How much more? So right away, I'm going to think about this sentence. Notice I have 2 questions. I need to have 2 sentences. So my first sentence would be, he used more paint. And that's where I'll put the color of paint that he used more. My second sentence, that question is asking me how much more. So for my second sentence, I am going to write, he used more paint. And that'll be where I put the amount. Notice I didn't add a unit. I can't add a unit because when I read the problem, close read will tell me, I'll see that I have different units. For the red paint, the unit is quarts. He used 15 quarts. And for the blue paint, he had gallons. So I'm going to have to do some conversions. I need to be able to compare things that have the same unit. So, if I look to my conversion chart or my reference sheet, I would see that 1 gallon equals 4 quarts. So, I can fill in. I know that I have 2.5 gallons. And I need to know how many quarts. Lining up my gallons and my quarts and quarts will help me to decide what it is that I need to do to go from gallons to quarts. So when I look at this and I look at my conversion rate, remember this is my rate. When I look at my conversion rate, when I go from 1 gallon to 4 gallons, I'm multiplying by 4. Remember those tables that we set up a few weeks ago? This is a way of looking at it. So to go from gallons to quarts, I multiplied by 4. So to go from this gallon to this quart, I need to also multiply by 4. So I am going to take 2.5 and multiply it by 4. So that's 2.5 4 times. So to figure this out, I can do it a number of ways. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take my mixed number here and I am going to turn it into an improper fraction. So 2.5, if I multiply my 2 times 2, I get 4. And then when I add, I'm going to have 4 plus 1 and I'm going to have 5 halves. So remember, it's like doing a little circle. I'm going to multiply and then I'm going to add. So 2.5 is equivalent to 5 halves. If I thought about it on a number line, I would still get 5 halves. So I'm multiplying 5 halves by 4 over 1. And that will tell me how many quarts of blue paint. So, cross divide, and I will end up with 10. So I now have an answer to one of my hidden questions, which is, he had 10 gallons, he had 10 quarts. Of, and let me check my problem, blue paint. So if he had 10 quarts of blue paint, the problem tells me that he had 15 quarts of red paint. I can now answer my question. I know that he used more red paint. He used more red paint. Now, I can tell, and many of you could probably figure out, that it was 5 more quarts of red paint. Remember, when you need to show your work, you need to show where your numbers came from. So even though most of us, if not all of us, could add or subtract these in our head, we need to make sure that we show that we did 15 minus 10 to get 5. That's showing your thinking, which you'll hear me say a lot. So we know that he used 5 quarts more red paint.